Welcome back to Dirty and Clean and Everything in Between. I'm Tim Scheib with Real Broker, and this is Jeff Claman with Claman Custom Homes. Jeff gets his boots dirty building homes. I keep mine clean, helping people buy and sell them. And today we're going to talk about business, construction, real estate, entrepreneurship, and life. No scripts, no fluff, just a real conversation between two people who live it and breathe it every single day. We're back for episode 3.
Episode 3. We've made it through 2. It's getting good.
Well, I mean, you know how I like to jump into things, right?
Yes.
So first question I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
Why does it cost so much to build a home?
Real easy question. It's the dirt.
The dirt.
It is. The dirt is getting higher and higher and higher. I haven't dug into it enough to know. You know, I do own some farm ground, so I do follow that kind of stuff, what that's bringing, but I've never owned anything good enough to be close enough to get development prices.
Yep.
But I do know that's going up, but I do believe, well, and it just rang a bell with me, think about it. Those guys to move the dirt with tractors, scrapers, look at what a new tractor cost.
Oh my gosh.
So
some of those tractors are $1 million.
That's my whole point. So to move the dirt, to develop it, to put it into a lot is driving the prices so stinking high on homes.
So it's not just the dirt, it's the fuel to do it, it's the labor cost to do it, the machinery to do it.
The concrete, the plumbing, every segment of it is driving the lots. I mean, I've told this story a lot, is when we first bought our first house to build on, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, that the lot was so expensive, and everybody goes, well, how expensive was it? It was $17,000 for a really nice lot. And I'm going, now a really nice lot is what?
A really nice lot? I mean, you're talking 150, 200,000.
Minimum. Yeah, I mean, we got some that we have that are 250, 300. And so why does that cost so much? It's this dirt.
Yeah.
When a lot's $200,000 or 150, or even a let's not, I don't want to call it an entry level home, but a $500,000 home. Those lots are they start at 100, don't they?
Yeah.
It's hard
on a $500,000 for sure. You know, some of those lots. All right. So this answers a question that a lot of people ask me. And the question that they ask is, you know, or not even a question, but what they don't like is the fact that these houses are 10 feet apart. Well, you know, I have a brother that's in planning, and back in the early 2000s, we had all these conversations, and he would get frustrated with cities because the cities wouldn't follow their plan, the city plan that they put in place. Well, city plan says, don't have a block that's super long, because how are the kids going to get from one spot to the next without having to go all the way down and around the block? Well, then the city would go ahead and approve a plan by a developer with that long street, but it's because those developers have to fit as many lots as they can in to recoup the cost to develop the ground. And so in today's world, when, you know, we see these houses with, you know, 5-foot setbacks on the sides rather than 15, which is still small.
Yep.
They're packing those in there because they have to get every ounce of money out of those lots that they can. And the more lots they have, the more money they can make.
Which is crazy. The setbacks are getting, I mean, we're doing a home show this year. It's 9-foot setback. Mm-hmm. I mean,
on $1 million homes.
Yeah, $1.5 million home. You're sitting right next to houses, and you can touch it, or you can't touch it, but it's pretty dang close.
Yeah, if a golf ball hits this house, it's going to hit the other ones too.
So that is the biggest cost for basically, guys, and lumber and all that. I can show you a chart. Like, lumber's at a before COVID rate. It's hanging right in there. Wages went up a little bit with people, which it should have. Everybody needed to go up, but that's not the big change. I mean, when you're adding 30 and 40% development costs on a development, and as a builder and as a we're not passing on extra. We can't keep extra profit. We're trying to just keep it so we can sell a dang house.
Right. So you look at, like, materials on a house might go up a little bit each year, but we're talking over the last 10 years, lot prices have gone up 100%, if not.
It ain't 10 years, it's 5 to 6.
Okay, so 100% in 5 years, the material costs went up maybe 10, 15%, maybe 20.
Yeah.
You know, so like
maybe 20. So it's
at the end of the day, like, you're right. The thing that's really driving the price of these houses up is the dirt.
It's so how do you How do we change that? I don't know how you change
You
it.
make more dirt.
They don't make more dirt.
I did a video about that just the other day. They don't make anymore, so it just is what it is. So like urban sprawl, how much do you pay attention to urban sprawl? How much do you know about it?
Pay attention to it, probably not enough, but it's been, right now it's one of my top things that we're looking at, that people can work from home. And you can get some really super sexy areas if you're willing to be away from the metro for a half hour, 45 minutes. You get that 45-minute, you can get some really nice stuff.
If you can work from home and if you got the time to take care of the land and you know what's in for it. But like, let's look at the urban sprawl issue with cities and how developers are taking dirt away as they go out, and it's just like growing outward and outward. What would be, I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm going to share this out here because we probably won't do anything with it, but if we do, it'd be kind of cool. So I know like D.R. Horton and these big, tract builders, what they do is they go out and they basically build the house inside of a shop so that they can eliminate the waste, right? Like every bit of that lumber is being used, and they build the walls, they do all that, and they ship it out to the site, pour the foundation, boom, boom, that house seems like it goes up in a week.
Yeah.
What if in the downtown areas of Des Moines, and there's areas where, they have, you see builders do the infill lots, right?
Yeah.
We got houses that probably, stood the test of times, but don't really stand the test of times anymore. Correct. Just getting water in the basement. Crap. What if some of those houses would it be cost effective to develop a system inside of a big shop where you have these simple 3-bedroom ranches, mostly built out in the shop to eliminate waste, easy, quick build, do it, tear down, replace the foundation, drop the house on it, and maybe be able to sell it for an affordable amount? Or would it be unrealistic to think you could sell that at an affordable amount? I know that's a lot to unpack.
No. I do not think it's unrealistic at all. I feel like, as much as I hate to say it, with government assisted money, because here's the thing, when a house, some of these you're talking about 120 years old, the foundations weren't like they are today. There's certain things that are rotten, they are falling down. People, once they get moved out, and those areas that don't, a lot of those areas haven't kept up with time. So the county or the city or whoever is not getting any tax money from it.
Right, because it doesn't have the assessed value.
And in the half time, there's nobody living in them anyway.
Right.
So they're vacant.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you go into areas and revitalize what they're doing? I think it's going to be the next. It has to be cheaper than what is going on.
Well, I know like in Denver, my cousin lives in one where it's like a historic area where they would tear down houses and build new big houses, and just because it's in town, right? Like I get that, but the smaller areas, the areas that aren't, the high demand where you've got the affordable homes, you might as well put up another affordable home in there.
Exactly.
And I know that there's companies out there that do it currently on infill lots, but there's not a whole lot of them that purchase a house purposely to tear down and throw something up.
How much that cost?
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it just all depends on size and everything on what it's going to cost. But I've done infill lots. I used to do quite a bit of them in smaller communities, sometimes in other areas. When I'd get it, like in an area you can't find it, like here's a good area, I could throw some in cheap. They usually sell pretty quick. However, what's the rule of thumb in real estate? Don't have the most expensive home.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, is it affordable? Is it feasible? Like, could you build a house if you essentially manufactured these outside of the location to try and avoid extra costs?
Well, and I will tell you a lot of like a DR, why they can do that. They've measured everything like a room to be 12 by 12. Or,
yeah.
I don't know because 12-foot studs.
You just got to be,
They don't have no
intentionally
waste.
Designed.
If they, I call value engineer everything around a waste. And I mean, you can position a window like a sheeted drywall. Like they go this far to, like, it is really unique what they do, to watch a cost. But yes, I think it can be done. And I think some of this metros areas really need to look at it hard.
I mean, it is so true. Like I go through houses sometimes and I'm like, I feel bad selling this house to a young person who can't afford something different because shit's going to hit the fan, and this person may not have the extra cash to cover it, and it puts them in a really bad position.
Even it doesn't matter if they have extra cash, but if it's $50,000 of redoing, they're never going to recoup the money because that house is still in an area that isn't worth much.
Right. So like going in and putting a nice, affordable home, you got to keep it within the boundaries of the neighborhood because, like you said, you don't want to build a big house in an old neighborhood where you're never going to get it back. But it gives someone the opportunity to move into something and not have surprises. I mean, I know, like, I had an older house and I tried to do my first DIY job. Shit, nothing square.
No, it's terrible.
And so, like, when you step into those old jobs, you think you have a dollar amount, and then all of a sudden 20 other things creep up on you, and you're like, I can't do this.
I can give a great example of a deal. Melissa that works for me, Melissa loves old homes. She lived in an old home, and she had, this has been quite a while ago, but she was like, needed a new roof, needed a new furnace. I mean, this house was starting to get her, but she loved her old home.
Yep.
And I just told her, and I said, Melissa, we'll work out a deal. I'll get you, let's build you a home. She says, I can't afford it. I go, let me show you why you can. Mm-hmm. So I started running scenarios with her. I said, okay, your house is worth this. A new roof. I go, that roof, for example, and they end up getting a new roof when they end up selling to the people they sold to. It ended up having 3 layers of shingles on, and it had wood shakes on top of it underneath that it mistakenly got by everybody.
Ryan, do you know anything about that? Ryan's old house had that.
Yeah, and so all this extra cost of a roof that you're just like, should have been a $12,000, $15,000 deal is like a $25,000, $27,000 roof job. Like, that's most people's big emergency fund. Now you're just throwing on a roof. So now we're refinancing a house, which now you probably don't have a rate. So now you're going into more money, more payment, and then her furnace takes a crap. There's 10 grand to redo it, roughly to do that. And then it's like, well, where does this ever, siding and windows and...
It doesn't ever stop because you just said furnace, but then the furnace comes into play, 10 grand, right? Well, now you got to rerun all the ductwork because the high efficiency furnace is different.
They don't match up.
Same with the water heater and all that kind of stuff. It costs substantially more to do repairs on an old house than it does a new house.
Correct.
So like when you look at taxes, I talk about this all the time. People are like, oh, Ankeny's so high or West Des Moines so high in taxes. I'm like, well, here's the problem. People don't realize it, but Des Moines is higher than all the suburbs because Des Moines isn't growing in taxpayers. And when they have to fix their roads and fix their stuff, they have to mitigate. They have to mitigate all the old stuff you can't put in anymore. And you have to tear out and put
twice as much.
Well, yeah. And these suburbs have new developments where they're putting in new stuff. It's so much cheaper to put new stuff in and create more taxpayers to pay for it.
Exactly.
So it's
and I'll give you the other beauty. So we got her into a new home. She doesn't have repairs, but it was more than she was paying.
Yep.
She goes, our utility bills are way less because we can build it more efficient. She goes, I have my taxes, but she goes, in the couple of years of living here, she's probably already made $60,000, $70,000 on the house in appreciation.
Oh yeah, right.
So you're going the other way.
Yep.
Instead of to me it's like a car, the same thing. A car, well, that's not a good example. They all depreciate and they're worth nothing. But at a certain point, a house is going to start taking a turn to go the other way.
Unless you keep up with if you keep up with it, it's fine.
Correct. Well, once you let the big
things go,
it's like when they go to sell. I mean, and you're in the real estate thing, and I mean, I'm in real estate, but you're an agent. But these people come in like, well, I can't afford to pay the roof. Well, that's just got to be part of it. No, that's a maintenance item. Mm-hmm. You have to maintain your home. Well,
a prime example, I hear this ad all the time from Andersen Windows. 9 out of 10 real estate agents agree that new Andersen Windows improve the value of your home by 15%. I'm like, no, because a house is supposed to have operating good windows. And if it doesn't, then you have to replace them. And it just goes back to the same value as the house if it had good operating windows.
Bingo.
Nobody really cares if they're Anderson or Gherkin.
They don't care what kind they are.
I mean, sure, it's cool. Great.
It is. It'd be better to have the best window of money you could buy, but at the end of the day,
it's not adding value. It's adding interest to the property, but not necessarily value.
Yeah, I mean, now if you look at one house that's got new windows or replacement windows, another one doesn't, and they're close to the same money, I don't have to put the windows in.
Right.
So, but look at it, they're still the same money.
Yeah, as long as these work, the value is going to be the same. It's just a matter of, it might draw some attention to that property over the other one. But 15%, it kills me when I hear that ad. I get mad.
Well, and you have every right. I mean, what they're going to say that they're saving utility bills. There ain't not going to happen. I mean,
not enough to matter.
Not enough.
That's like I know we're totally veering off topic here, but like the solar panels, that drives me bananas.
That's a whole nother.
I get the excitement behind it, but when someone says it costs me $1,500 a month to make the payments on the solar panels, and your bill is $150 a month, tell me how that's saving you money. Because guess what? You're probably going to move before your 15 years of paying that note is up.
Well, and then you know what? And we might as well just anybody with solar panels on their house should be very aware you're not going to get value when you go to sell this.
No, you could get negative. You could get negative value.
Yes.
And also, you're going to have to pay off that loan when you close.
Correct. And
which is
not that you want to beat these people up for it. It just, at the time, I'm sitting there going, oh, this is really...
Well, it's a sales pitch because they go and tell people that it adds value to the house, and it doesn't add value to the house.
Yeah.
The house is supposed to have electricity, and it does.
Yes. So that one statement, I'm going to steer off. This thing right there that you just said, that when people come in and tell them something, I think, in especially Midwestern people like we all are, maybe not everybody. I mean, we have people following us from all over the world right now. But we believe everybody has a good heart.
Yes.
And means well. And I tell people this all the time, that when you're looking at buying a home, and when they come to me, I said, you should do your due diligence, check me out. Do research on me, ask people I've built for, all this. Why are people not, like this solar thing, why they just jump so quickly on a huge decision?
You get sold on it. I mean, there's a good salesman that sells them on it, and they just trust.
I know, it isn't that I don't want to say the word isn't trust. It's like, do your due diligence with some things. I think.
We talked about this on the last one with builders.
Yeah. Same deal, but it's just like the due diligence with just life in general, like appliances. I'm convinced they're all throwaway.
Pretty much.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I'll tell people, well, can you give me a good appliance? I said, no. Yeah. I mean, unless you want to spend astronomical money, then I can, but no.
Well, and I just was talking about this yesterday I saw a listing online, and it said, new furnace 2018, and I'm thinking to myself, that's an old furnace. At first, I was like, oh, that's not bad, but that was 8 years ago, and furnaces today, I mean, I replaced mine after 7 years. Yeah. I shouldn't have had to, but I did.
No.
And so, that's the thing. These furnaces can last 10 years. So you say 2018, it sounds like a great thing, but in all reality, that sucker's old. No, it may not have much life left. I wouldn't promote that part of it.
No, and you don't want to promote it. I mean, in the real estate thing, there is no right or wrong. It's just I try to make sure people understand. I feel like there's too many. I don't know everybody's financial situation. Too many people living beyond their means, and then you have home problems, and that's what escalates to some of this stuff.
Yeah, and that's like I said, if I'm out showing a house to a young person, I know they don't have a bunch of money. If a bunch of extra money, what I don't want to do is sell them a house where I can see things are going to come up.
Correct.
And I'm going to be straight up honest with my people.
See, that goes back what we talked about the last time. It's integrity.
It is, but the last thing I want is to not get their business in the future. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, things are hitting them in the face they weren't expecting. And that does happen. And many, many times when that stuff starts happening, agents will not face it and they'll just like ignore the person, which is a bad thing. But like, that's a big hit to take. And so if I can help my clients on those random things where we had no idea something was going to happen, I'm gonna.
Correct.
But it's those little things that eat up the pocketbook and can put someone in such a strain.
Yeah.
I have one right now that's just frustrating the crap out of me, and hopefully we can work through it, but it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, there's, and I think there's happening more and more of this lately, and I don't know if I know why. I just, I mean, I'm feeling the challenges of everything every day with. I mean, I've had enough this morning or this afternoon, whenever, to make me want to puke. Like, and it, I was going to bring it up, but I wanted to talk about like expectations.
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain to my team, inspect what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, we had a meeting on Monday about it. And they said, this is really crazy to me. I said, you guys got to start inspecting what you expect. Well, what do you mean? Well, it's self-explanatory, right? Yeah. I go, okay. Well, when we asked the drywaller, I'm using the drywaller example, we go, come through, we blue tape, he fixes things. You expect what? They're all like, well, it to be done perfectly, I don't got to worry about it. I said, did you inspect it? Well, not every one of it. And I go, when we did, what'd you find? It wasn't all the way done. Well, it comes back to accountability, but what's being more frustrating for me is I'm seeing it happen more and more, not just in construction, in everything. Why is it okay just to do a half-assed job?
Well, because people maybe they don't expect better, or they don't know any different, or they're in too big of a hurry to move on to the next thing. And so, like, I'm talking the end user.
I'm not even talking a goddamn cheeseburger at McDonald's where you're probably supposed to put 2 pickles on it. So he says, I'm throwing one on.
This is what I meant by that. I'm supposed to get 2 pickles on it, right? So I get my burger, I start driving down the road, I see 1 pickle, I'm like, son of a gun. I eat the burger and move on. That's why because we let it pass too often. Because we don't expect the perfection. We don't inspect it to the expectation, right?
Okay, well, why is it because we have too much money?
Too much time. Or not enough time. The opposite, not enough time.
Not enough time.
So we all just move on, and we move on and take it for less, which is a cancer, because that's going to be everything that we do in life is going to be less good.
No, I'm seeing it. It's driving me crazy because
it happens in real estate with transactions left and right.
Like Melissa said, we were talking about it earlier today, and she goes, I guess it's just, we got to do, better things. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, we're getting a closet thing done, and they come in, and the installer walked muddy shoes on brand spanking new carpet. I mean, I'm like beyond.
And then walked out and didn't do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, my project manager caught him.
Yeah.
And says, listen, and he was hiding from him because he knew. And it's just like, well, what made you think? Now I understand accidents can happen. Accidents, we all make mistakes. I'm not saying that, but it's like, that's a little thing that can make a big difference.
Yeah.
That costs the company name or money, their company, which we don't want to try to have to charge them, but it's like, why? It's your company. You sent your guys out. Their response kind of was, which was crazy, was, I can't manage my installers all the time. That's not my job.
You can take responsibility. That's for dang sure.
Well, but they're like, well, sorry, we let you down again, because it's been a client or a customer or a sub that we've kind of got away from because of these kind of actions, because it's like that it doesn't reflect them, it reflects me.
Yeah, and that kind of response is the kind of response saying, we don't care if we have your business or not.
Correct.
Nice.
So do they have enough business? Obviously.
I must.
But it's like, but then do the owners know what's going on? Because you're not talking to the owners.
So we go back to the builders, right? Like, if you want a higher quality home, it's best to have that builder that actually walks through their own product with their name on the door.
No, that's the best way. And you're right, because I'm going to tell you what, you talk about, like I told Melissa, I guess everybody just thinks I'm an asshole. She goes, yeah, I guess. She goes, they do. And I was like, well, it's because I have to sit there and just scream and yell at people to get them to do things it shouldn't even be here, but I want it up here.
Yep.
And I'm like, do here, and I'd probably leave you alone, but you're doing it, some of it's down here, and everybody's gonna be like, why don't you get rid of them? Well, some of these, what's sad is they're the best of what's in the trades.
Right.
And I'm going, oh my God. I'm like, oh, I just want to I'm going to start another business.
Right.
And I'm going to own a dang drywall company and all. I'm picking on the drywallers, but.
Yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. Like I had this conversation with another builder, a friend of mine, and it came down to, you're not getting the work done and done well because you're not hard enough on them. Correct. Well, we don't want to change who we are. We're not those people. And I'm like, well, then you're not going to get anywhere. And I'm not saying you got to call and be a complete jerk.
No.
You just have to be very forward, very honest, and very blunt. And
very direct to the point.
If you're very direct and to the point and blunt, and they take that as you being mean, then that means that they're deflecting because they know that it's their problem. They know that they screwed up and they're either embarrassed by it or they just don't want to admit to it. So now all of a sudden that directness is mean.
Correct. It's in the directness gets like, do you like doing it?
No.
No, nobody likes doing it. But are you afraid? Are you afraid?
No, and that's the worst part of my job as a real estate agent. Look, you might be upside down on this house. I hate to be the one to break the news to you, but I don't want to tell you some BS and make you think you're going to sell it for more money.
Right there, you were direct and honest.
It sucks because
I hate it
because they could just simply be like, "Well, we're not working with this guy. He doesn't think my
Tim's just a jackass." And it's like he just said.
I promise you, that's been said before and been done.
But you know what? At the end of the day, that was the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. It truly is. And it's the same way I'm trying to teach my team is, so we're going to inspect what we expect and we're going to train.
Yeah.
We're going to try to train. Why are we training everybody? Because obviously the other owners can't train, but you know what? We can train what we're doing. I'm
going to give you a really good example here. All right. You know how there's a child, right?
Yeah.
The child's a little brat with this parent. I say it's a divorced couple. With this parent, child's good. Child listens because they have expectations put on them. You got a sub. When they work for you, if you train them right for you, they're going to do a heck of a job. They're going to get everything done. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. Then they can go over to this builder and be a complete jackwad.
Yeah.
Because this builder doesn't put that expectation on them.
Bingo.
They know they can take advantage of this one. I'm not saying subs are kids, but it's human nature, right? If I can get away with this over here, I'm going to get away with this over here. If I know I can't get away with it over here, I'm not going to try and get away with it over here.
It's a definition of a four-letter word, lazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We all tend to drag into it, this lazy society a little bit. And it's just like, we got to, try to step up above rapport of just like, try not to be, one thing I have done a little differently, and I almost hate to share this, but because it'll cause a mutiny on subs, but it is what it is when I find a good sub inside one of these, or let me back up. Inside one of the vendors and subcontractors, when I find one of their one of their guys is really good, I said, I only want him.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Me and that guy are on the same page.
Yep.
I have that with a lot of, the same people, even though my plumber and HVAC guy probably do work for, oh my goodness, tons of other builders. I only have a certain guys that they're doing. Yep. But guess what? I don't have problems.
Yep.
I mean, we have problems, but it is. They already know. I know. You know how many times I heard it. We know how you want it, Jeff.
Yep.
And then they'll say it like that's sarcastic. We know how you want it. I go, you're damn right. You know how I want it. Yep. I don't care what they think of me.
Yeah.
Because
you do, but it's like when you're hard on your kid as a parent, your kid loves you even more.
But they don't act like it.
No, they don't act like
they
it.
Kick and scream, but they deep down know it's right.
Yes.
And just like that guy, they deep down know it's right.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know what they'll say behind your back? You want to build a good house, go build with him.
100%. Because he makes me do it right.
He goes, I can't get away with anything.
Yep.
And
Well, and this is how I've explained construction for a long time, and I probably already have on this show. But like when you got your big box builder builds a bunch of homes. Now, someone might say, how do they keep the costs down? Well, they buy in bulk. Maybe like the big ones pay in cash. Another way they do it is they beat up their subs. So like if I own a trim carpentry company and I've got 5 different crews to go out there, this crew is paying, what's a normal price per square foot? Just throw a number.
$1.25, $1.50, somewhere in there.
I'm paying $1.25. This is me building. This is this big builder. They're paying $1.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got this company. I'm like, what crew am I going to send to the one that pays $1? Probably my least experienced, worst crew.
Absolutely.
So when you're looking at these cheaper homes, it's more likely they have the less experienced crew out there. So when you say, oh, they build a crap home, well, it's not because of the builder. It's because of the subs they hire. They beat them up so much on price that
they have no other.
You're not getting the quality work.
Which is I know this, but I've never looked at it that way as a rebuttal of somebody when they come to me and say, well, you're more money than that other.
But you just proved it.
Yeah.
You just proved it because you said, I want that guy because I know he's going to do it right and do it well.
Yeah. And most of the time,
that guy's not cheap.
He's the most expensive guy.
He's the most experienced guy in that crew.
He is. Yeah. And if he's the most experienced, he's the most what? Highest paid.
Yep. That's just what it is.
It goes, but everybody thinks that you're going to get that. Mm-hmm. Well, the reality of it is you're not. You're not going to get that. I'm sorry, there is only so many tradesmen to go around in this business.
100%.
And I feel like it's going the wrong way. But, that's why when you see a good builder, and there's a handful of us out there, that's because they're willing to pay the subs better to do a better job, quality work. It just is what it is. Yep. We're just not, I don't send quotes out to 3 people and go, okay, cheapest one gets it.
Yep.
No, I'm trying to build a relationship. And then when those people's values start dropping, I'm like, listen, why are you doing this? You need to, if you're not going to be on my page, mm-hmm. Why? First, why? I don't want to just burn a bridge.
Right.
Why? What's going on and why? Well, maybe it's a one-off, but if it keeps happening, and then it's like, okay, listen, now it's time. Here's your life, another chance, and then you got to watch them harder.
Yeah.
But so when it comes back to inspect what you expect.
Absolutely, and when you get that relationship with that sub post closing, it's probably invaluable, right? Like something pops up 6 months down the road.
Yeah.
Your guy knows what you expect, first off, and secondly, they have the experience and they're proud of their work. They're going to go back and they're going to help. They're going to try and get it fixed.
Correct.
Because things do happen, right?
They do. I mean, it's but I love that, this has really been very even eye-opening for me, even though I know I know all this, I just haven't heard it in a while. And it's kind of like, you're right. We do bring a different value when we build a home on a lot of those aspects, only because it isn't that we're just throwing extra money at guys, but we're actually vetting. We're going through and vetting these subcontractors for a higher standard, a better quality. And me and my team are doing that for our customers.
Yep.
And I don't even know that I ever really looked at it that way.
It's a huge value add. For sure.
Yeah, and we're not even selling it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just selling, hey, our stuff's pretty. Now I'm acting like my damn designer. Wait, how does that relate to you as a real estate agent? Like,
I find it so much easier, me personally, to sell a client on a good builder.
Because you're confident.
Because I'm confident and I know they're getting a good product. I've had good builders in the past that I've represented, and it was so much easier to sell a custom on that than it was a builder over here that doesn't walk their job sites. You can tell they just, they're in it for the paycheck, right? And there's a huge difference there.
Why? So it isn't that you're lying, but when somebody asks you, well, would you build your own home with them or something like that? Some of these you're going to be like, oh boy, now you don't want to put your stamp on it either.
So there was a video, Ricky Carruth, he's a real estate coach, real estate agent first, real estate coach now. And he had a video yesterday where he said, would you use yourself as a realtor? And I responded, I'm like, absolutely 100%. And the number one reason why is because I know me and I know I care. I know I'm going to communicate. I know I'm going to do what's right. And I know I'm going to work hard. But the main thing, the first thing that popped into my head on that response was because I know how much I care. I'm the only person who knows how much I care. And so like as a builder,
amazing because you didn't even hesitate.
No, there was no hesitation. And like when I'm helping a client, it's easier to sell a quality builder that I know is quality builder because I care about my client. And now if I'm selling, a bigger box, one that mass producing builder, I tell my clients up front. I'm like,
you're getting what you're paying for.
You're getting, this one's going to be less money. Just understand, and I give them, I tell them both ways. And some people just can't afford this, right? It just is what it is.
It's not a bad thing.
And it's not a bad thing. Like I've got people who've bought, homes that are built by the bigger box builders that have won big time, but it's, I tell them, you have to do it. You have to make sure you maintain your home, take care of it. It's going to be more of a starter home. I mean, you're not building $1 million home with D.R. Horton, at least not in our market.
No, and everybody wants to knock some of those guys a lot, and it's like, well, they're filling a need
they have their
that
place.
I can't fill.
They have their place, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go build that. I mean, I can build that house close, but I can't get to their price. They're national.
I mean, I've sold 4 or 5 of them this year, and every client seems to be very happy. And
it'll be okay for a while.
It was the best option for them, right?
Yeah.
Like at that moment, if it's still new, you still got your 1-year warranty. The appliances are new, the furnace is new, the roof is new. You shouldn't have massive expenses. But I always tell my clients that this is 50 to 100 grand less than the competition. So, if you end up putting 20 into it because something was screwed up, you're still ahead of the game, and just know that, we're talking about this today.
Correct.
Right. So,
yeah.
But hopefully none of that happens. No, it hasn't happened with any of my clients yet, but I mean.
But that goes to, a lot of this is going back to, it's that, that word integrity.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I love that you're like, if you were looking for an agent, would you hire yourself? And you're like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And why? And it's like, I look the same thing. Would I hire myself a builder? Absolutely. I'd be like, I know the guy's going to give me back. I know he's going to, care.
Do what he says.
Like sometimes I got to do stuff I just absolutely hate. It's like,
got to get it done.
And sometimes there are mistakes of something that shouldn't have happened that happened, and just it's just a big long progress or process, but we're human too. But I ain't gonna hide it. I'm gonna own it and say, here's what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn the corner a little bit here, but first I want to say, if you're looking to buy a home in the Des Moines Metro, I would love to help you out. If you just want to talk about it, hit me up. We can answer your questions. If you're thinking about building a home, let's sit down with Jeff, and he can sit down and see if he's the right fit for you and you're the right fit for him. But just reach out anytime if you want any of those 2 things. Now, here's my next question. That young kid that's 18 years old that is thinking about his future or her future, what do you recommend they do as far as, do you recommend them going into the trades? If so, how do they do it? And then what should their ultimate goal be?
Oh, there's a lot of questions there.
I know.
Let's do I recommend the trades? Absolutely.
Because we were just talking, and this is how it popped into my head. We were just talking about it. We're, the experienced agents or the experienced contractors are out there, but they're becoming fewer and fewer because.
Correct. Well, I'm going to say one thing, and let me make sure I come back to this but look at what private equity firms are buying. Why the hell do you think they're buying all this shit up? They're buying HVAC, electrical, plumbing companies, all this manual labor stuff that nobody wants to do because the margins are so good.
And we're so far behind.
And all they can do is they can build processes and put money behind it to pay more. Their margins will just continue to grow.
Yeah.
They've got to figure it out. So, as you said, come back into it, what their goal should be. Well, I think that's where it's got to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish it would start in school, going back to saying, everybody, remember when you were in school, got to go to college, got to go to college. I know none of us ever asked why. I don't know why. Why do I got to go to college? I just thought, my mom and dad were like, you want to college? Sure. what are you going to do? I don't freaking know. What do you like? Well, I like to work. Well, after I found out for a year and a half, college wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I sucked at it, and I wasn't good at books and grades and all that other crap. You know, you worked on the farm. I was great at hard work and doing all that. And I was great. Then I learned sales and got into other things. So it comes down to, and it's hard at 17, 18 years old to understand what excites them. I mean, which is just, gosh, I'm gonna throw out $1 million idea, everybody. This will happen probably every show. Here's the next one. A guy wants to start a company. We need to figure out a way to give these young kids a personality test to understand what direction in life they need to be going. I know there's test stuff out there, but
Yeah.
If
you're going to be in sales, you don't need to go to college.
You do not.
You do not.
And do you, but then, okay, if you want to be a plumber, do you like shit? I mean, because when you start, they're not putting you on new construction, easy stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to, but it's good money.
Yep, it's great money, and so this is where I come into play. So, or my thoughts come into play. These young kids that are wanting to get into the trades of some sort. When you want to succeed at something, sometimes you got to do something
you don't want to do,
which would be going and working for someone, getting your ass beat, doing the shit jobs, to build yourself up, to learn the trade to the point where now you can start your own business. And if you get into it with an older bird who's been doing it a long time, I can promise you, that person is going to help you build your company and help. Like,
he will never let you fail.
And that's the thing. Like, these old trades workers, they're like, if they own their own business and they see somebody that's excited about doing it and they listen and they put in the work, they do the hard things, they will fall in love with that kid or that young adult and help them through the process until he goes away. Then you can take over their business and he probably wouldn't even make you pay for it.
Probably not at all.
Nope.
I mean, I'm starting to see if it started to trickle up. I really am. I'm starting to, like, I know some family friends of ours, their boy went into appliance repair. I ain't gonna lie. At first I thought, oh, this kid ain't got it. He went to work at a company, didn't make it, ain't got it. He's did a couple things for us. I've referred him on some things. I've watched him on some other things. He's really starting to do this. And it's like, holy cow. I mean, he's going to build a heck of a business. And I think he's in his, like 24, 25, maybe even younger. And I'm going, good for him. I know some young kids that do landscape. Like, if you're not afraid, I'm telling you, if you're not afraid to go out and get dirty and go to work and learn, have an open mind, and get away from being,
I'm too good for this.
Yes.
Oh, I should have a management job in my second year in business.
It's those people are, I've been saying it for years. It's going to flip. And we're there.
Well, I mean, my daughter, she just got her real estate license and she's 20. And I told her straight up, I'm like,
you're going to starve.
I'm like, you're not going to sell a single house on your own until you're 25. I'm not allowing it. What? Yeah, I'm not going to allow it. Think about this. When you're 25, you're going to have 5 years experience in. At that point, that's when the people you know are really going to start buying and selling. This 5-year period, you're going to learn, and you're going to go get business for me. You're going to get paid on it. It's going to be worth your time, and you're going to get help in those transactions. But for 5 years, you're going to work,
and you're going to learn.
And you're going to learn. And at 5 years, you're going to be experienced, and you're going to be ready to roll, and you're going to make so much money. And you'll only be 25.
You'll be so far ahead of the game.
Yeah, you'll be 25.
Yeah, but let's just use her example. But see, what else is she doing?
Yeah, she runs our gym.
What else?
And a professional photographer.
Oh, yeah. So here we got 20-year-old motivated.
She's almost too darn busy for me. But
exactly.
She's excited to take on new roles and do new things. And
but she's not afraid to go get dirty and say it's beneath her.
Exactly.
And she took away, it's like, and I don't want to knock these kids, but it's like the ones that are doing that are the ones that are going boom.
Yeah.
Because the older people like you and I, and now we can actually say we're older, what does it make you want to do for them so bad? you want to help them.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I want to see them succeed.
When I see a kid hungry,
oh God, it pulls at my heartstrings.
Yep.
I'm like,
That's why I say those trades guys, they're going to help these young kids if they want to listen. So I can tell you, if you're young and you want to succeed in life, in business, you have to make sure that you let down your guard and know that you're not too good for anything. Because if you think you're too good, you will fail. And that's the only way to get to the top, is to go from the bottom to the top.
And if you know, and the other thing, if I could ever tell you, everybody's like, well, I'm not going to make any serious money until I'm 25 or 30. You ain't going to make any serious money until you're in your 40s and 50s.
And I can tell you, none of us did either.
No, exactly.
And if we did, we blew it all.
Exactly. So, and that's okay. But you know, life is life is just a learning.
Yeah.
A learning experience. You learn as you go. You screw up, you mess up. I mean, you know, to me, find a good mentor. Mm-hmm. Or a coach or whatever, but find a good mentor that you can, what do you think?
Yeah.
But have enough courage to take that advice and trust it.
And trust it, yeah, that's the hard part.
That trust is a big...
Too many people know more than everybody else.
Yeah, and if you, like, I look at things and it's like, it's so clear, and I'm like, these young people, I'm going, you're asking me this? Like, what part of this do you not see that's going to fail? I'm going, whoa, and they want to give me all these things like, nope, that won't work. And I'm going, and they're like, and no, I'm not saying they can't prove me wrong.
Right, of course.
But the reality of it is 9 out of 10 times it ain't going to happen. So why don't you just trust me and go, why don't you do this? Well, but that pass a little longer.
Yeah.
Or a little harder. Quit going the easy route.
But you'll get it there.
There's no shortcut in success.
No.
There's no shortcut in being an entrepreneur. There's no shortcut in being wealthy.
And being there's no shortcut in being good in life.
Exactly.
Everything, right?
Nothing. I mean, if your health sucks, well, it's probably because you ain't working out or going to the gym. Yeah. I mean, or, you know, if you're like...
If your relationship sucks, it's probably because you're not working on it every single day.
Or probably like me, because my wife hates me because I'm never home because I'm working. But no,
I know that's not true.
Well, she likes me a little bit. But, you know, that's the truth. Is like, you can say one, but if you want to be honest, it's hard to...
Yeah.
It's hard not to come back to that.
Yeah.
But that's a great, like, this young thing pulls at my heart because I want to help, you know, I want to help these kids. I mean, because somebody helped me.
Yeah.
You know, who helped you?
I mean, I had someone my age help me, honestly. But I learned from real estate wise, I learned just by grit. Right?
Yeah.
But I also learned that grit by watching my dad.
Yes.
And I saw my mom, like the honest and the hardworking person in my mom. I mean, she worked her way up. She was associate warden of a prison, you know, and she started in dietetics. How does that happen? Hard work, doing what you say you're going to do, being dependable, reliable, being honest.
God, there's so many of those key words that dependable. Holy cow.
I can't imagine where you're at on that.
Oh my God. And reliable.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how many, like, I have to call certain vendors and subs 4 and 5 times.
That's great.
Where are you at? Oh, we had something come up. Okay, you never thought about communicating it? Like, I mean, and they're not, it's everywhere. And it's like these key ingredients in life that I thought was just that we grew up with.
A standard, right?
Is not there.
No.
But it doesn't mean, and that's okay. Because I guarantee if let me ask you this. If you were a kid growing up in today, how much easier would it be? Because there's so much opportunity.
Oh gosh. Like if I had the same mindset.
Yes. That you have right now.
Would I have the same mindset with all the different things out there that are manipulating the minds and changing?
You're probably right.
Who knows? But with that, I'm going to end it right now because we're going to be reliable and come back next week. So make sure you tune in next week.
Yeah.
And we'll bring you more of this fun banter.
Exactly.
Yeah.